Today, Rockstar has dropped a whole heap of new information about GTA 6, and in this video I'll be breaking down everything that came out today, with over 70 new screenshots, a brand new trailer, and a lot more information, such as the characters, because we now know Jason and Lucia's full name, which are Jason Duval and also Lucia Caminos. Jason wants an easy life, but things keep getting harder. Jason grew up around grifters and crooks after a stint in the army trying to shake off his troubled teens. He found himself in the Keys doing what he knows best, working for the local drug runners. It might be time for something new. Meeting Lucia could be the best or worst thing to ever happen to him. Jason knows how he'd like it to turn out, but right now, it is hard to tell. Lucia's father taught her to fight as soon as she could walk. Life has been coming at her swinging ever since. Fighting for her family landed her in the Leonida Penitentiary. Sheer luck got her out. But instead of half-baked fantasies, Lucia is prepared to take matters in her own hands. Fresh out of prison and ready to change the odds in her favor, Lucia's committed to her plan, no matter what it takes. I want to spend some time diving away from screenshots and kind of giving you a look into the trailer, as the trailer really shows what the relationship between these two was. There is definitely a romantic relationship going on, as half the trailer is them having. I want to take a moment to have a deeper look into the trailer for a few particular scenes, but I think the scenes I particularly find interesting is the moment that Lucia gets out of prison. The reason why is because we saw in trailer 1 that she was in prison, and you would assume that there's something going on that Jason gets it out. Throughout the trailer, we get a lot more focus on Jason individually, unlike we had in trailer 1, which is more focused on Lucia herself. So I think what might be going on here is that we will start the game as Jason, as we can see that, of course, you know, he grew up around crooks and grifters, and he was in the army, and basically he's already kind of sort of established in the local drug runners. You also hear a bit more about Jason and the characters that he hangs out with, which also gives him like a free apartment in exchange for basically doing some jobs for him. So that kind of means that Jason is probably going to be at the bottom of the barrel at the start of the game, then moves up and somehow, some way gets into contact with Lucia, as that's what I would assume would be the logical way. And then the moment that obviously Jason figures out a way of how Lucia can get out of prison, that's probably where the two will join together and they will get, you know, the iconic duo I suppose that they're going to be. Cal Hampton. What if everything on the internet was true? Jason's friend and a fellow associate of Brian's, Cal feels safest hanging out at home, snooping on Coast Guard comms with a few beers and a private browser tab open. Cal is at the low tide of America and is happy there. Casual paranoia loves company. But his friend Jason has bigger plans, which I guess hints towards, you know, meeting Lucia, etc. Brian, by the way, is Brian Hedder. Brian is a classic drug runner from the golden age of smugglings in the Keys, still moving product through his boatyard with his third wife, Lori. Brian's been around long enough to let others do his dirty work. He looks like a Leonida beach bum, but he moves like a great white shark. Brian is letting Jason live rent-free at one of his properties, as long as he helps with local shakedowns, and stop by for Lori's sangria once in a while. Which will paint obviously the picture that the main characters that you probably start off with at the game is going to be Jason, Cal, and also Brian. The way that I personally see this happening, you kind of start the game hanging out with Brian, living in his free apartment, doing some jobs for him, and then something happens that you get in contact and get more and more serious. Because, of course, as you go through the game and want to start moving up the ladder, you'll probably start meeting someone like Raul Batista, who is a confident, charming, and cunning seasoned bank robber that's always on the hunt for talent, ready to take the risk to bring the biggest rewards. Raul's recklessness raises the stakes with every score. Sooner or later, his crew will have to double down or put the chips on the table. So in this case, it could either be the case of that, you know, bank robbery goes wrong and Lucia makes it into prison, or whatever the case may be. It's kind of like, you know, either or type of things, but obviously Raul over here is probably going to cause a heap of trouble for our protagonists. There's also some other characters which I'm sure will be related to the drug trade, or just more of like the nightlife scene, which I'm sure will be plenty of inside of Vice City. Such such as Booby Ike. Yes, his name is indeed Booby, which I'm sure there's plenty of jokes in there, just wait until you hear about the record studio that he owns. Booby is a local Vice City legend, and he acts like it. One of the few to transform his time in the streets into a legitimate empire spanning real estate, a strip club, and a record studio. Booby's all smiles until it's time to talk business. Booby might seem like he's just out for himself, but it's his partnership with the young inspiring music mogul Draquan for Only Raw Records that he is most invested in. Now they just need a hit. Draquan Priest was always more of a hustler than a gangster, even when he was dealing on the streets to make ends meet. Breaking into music was the goal. Now that he's signed to Real Dimes, Draquan's days of booking acts into Booby's strip club might be numbered as he sets his sight on the Vice City scene. This is of course where Real Dimes come in, which is with a tagline, viral videos and viral hooks. This is probably the part where the parody about viral videos and like those type of artists and that sort of stuff that are really trying hard to become viral to make it in the music business will probably come into play. Bay Lux and Roxy, aka Real Dimes, have been friends since high school. Girls with a savvy that turn their time shaking down local dealers into cold hard cash via spicy rap tracks and a relentless social media presence. An early hit single with local rapper Downplay took Real Dimes into new heights. Now, after 5 years and a whole lot of trouble, they signed to Only Raw Records, hoping lightning can strike twice. Yes, the biggest investor into Only Raw Records is someone called Booby. Ladies and gentlemen, Rockstar Games is still alive and well. Alongside the characters, Rockstar has also revealed 6 different locations within the game's map. First, of course, Vice City itself, where everything is in access. We're a long way from the 80s, but Vice City is still the fun and sun capital of America. The glamour, hustle and greed of America captured in a single city. Each neighborhood has something to offer, from the pastel Art Deco hotels and bright white sands of Ocean Beach to the bustling Panaricas of Little Cuba and the bootleg brands of Tasha Waka Flea Market. Out of the VC port, the cruise ship capital of the world. The Leonida Keys, the gateway to paradise. The dress code is casual, the bars are loaded. Life in the tropical archipelago isn't flashy, but it's easy. Get your buzz on and put up on a deck chair, but look out, you're right on the doorstep of some of the most beautiful and dangerous waters in all of America. The Grass Rivers, welcome to the wetlands, the untamed jewel of Leonida's crown. You never know what lies beneath this prenuptial expanse. The gators may be the most famous attraction, but there are far more deadlier predators and weirder discoveries among the mangroves. Port Gellhorn, live hard. This is Leonida's Forgotten Coast. Cheap motels, shut down attractions, and empty strip malls won't bring the tourists back. But there's a new economy in this once popular vacation spot. It's fueled by malt liquor, painkillers, and truck stop energy drinks. Jump on a dirt bike and hold on to your wallet. The Ambrosia, keeping Leonida sweet. The battle of health and wealth of Leonida begins here. In the heart of Leonida, America's industry and old school values still reign supreme, whatever the cost. The Allied Crystal Sugar Refinery provides the jobs, while the local biker gang provides the almost everything else. Mount Calaga National Park, wild, wild country, room to breathe on the state's northern edges. A national landmark up against the state's northern border, Mount Calaga offers prime hunting, fishing, and off-road trails. In this lush surrounding backwoods, hillbilly mystics and paranoid radicals live far from the prying eyes of the government. So as you can clearly see, there is plenty of variety of things to do and explore within GTA 6. The locations look very varied, where you are able to go off-road, dirt biking in the north, or just simply cruise around the ocean beach and just soak in all the neon lights. I honestly have to say that my first impressions after going through all of this for this video has been enormously impressed, and it is very obvious that there's a reason why the game has been delayed for a year, because if you start showing off things like this and how the game is going to supposedly look like, I wish the devs the best of luck, and I sure hope there's gonna be a performance option, because if everything has reflections, I'm starting to think that maybe we'll have to play this in 30 FPS, which would definitely suck. Then again, they're obviously showing the game in the best way possible, so, you know, without the reflections, maybe it'll run in 60 FPS, but either way, those are just some of my thoughts and some of the information about this so far. I hope you found it useful. If you did, give it a like, subscribe for more, and I'll see you all later.